doing well. So today we're going to talk about certainty. Certainty within the church. Hold on, let me take a sip of this. If you have deconstructed, especially from evangelicalism or fundamentalism or even like deep Southern Baptist roots, you understand the point that I'm about to make, that certainty, the certainty of Jesus, God, the scriptures equaled your faith. It equaled your faith. But the reality of the situation, it was all about control. And my cat's going to say hi today. Certainty provides a false sense of control, especially in a chaotic environment. The human brain craves, we absolutely crave predictability. And when you're involved in these high controlled environments, they offer answers instead of resources. High control religious environments exploit you to make you feel like you have all the answers, like they have all the answers, instead of giving you this opportunity to search outside and have cognitive thinking skills. For example, right? I was told what to believe. I was told how to dress. I was told what kind of music I was allowed to listen to, what kind of man I was supposed to marry. And at first, it's extremely comforting when you're in these environments because you have all the answers to everything. There's certainty in what there is. It almost feels like you have this like cheat code to life that no one else has unless you're involved in the church. But when I stepped outside of the church, I realized that that certainty wasn't saving me. It was controlling me. And in the real world outside of that church, when you're interacting in real life situations, that certainty that you have starts to crumble around you. God forbid you question any of this, right? So God forbid you go to somebody in the church and you're having doubt. It wasn't just discouraged, it was actively condemned. And questioning is human nature. It just is human nature. That's what we do. We question everything. Doubt is a natural part of cognitive development. Let me repeat that. Doubt is a natural part of cognitive development and helps form you into a healthy adult. Suppressing doubt can cause anxiety, depression, it can cause you to disassociate. There's so many things from a psychological standpoint even that can cause mind fucks. Okay, I'm so sorry. I can remember the first time that I asked our youth leader why God would send people to hell just for doubting, if he was an all-loving God. If he made us, he gave us the brains, like why would he do that? I can remember very vividly having this conversation, and I remember my youth leader looking at me and saying, "You're letting Satan get a foothold. You're letting Satan, you have to cast those thoughts out. If you don't cast those thoughts out, Satan is going to come in, grab you, get you, and yank you right down to hell." It wasn't that dramatic, but you get what I'm saying. They taught me that doubt was dangerous, but they couldn't answer the question. They couldn't answer the question. Faith isn't about the absence of questions. It's about what you do with them, what you do with those questions and those answers. And I think I probably would have been okay with the answer as, hey, we don't have all the answers, and questioning is completely normal. Instead of trying to give answers to absolutely everything. Holding space for the unknown. Hold space for the unknown. Because it's a very real identity. You have to hold space for this because we don't know everything. The need for certainty often comes from unresolved fear. Not spiritual depth. What happened when I first started deconstructing is I stopped outsourcing my faith that I still had at the time to the people who need certainty. Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it. I stopped outsourcing my faith to the people that needed certainty more than compassion. Certainty is weaponized for control. I've said it multiple times, and I will continue to say it. High control groups use certainty to avoid accountability. Survivors of religious trauma are often re traumatized when God's will is used as an excuse to justify abuse. Yeah, I fucking wrote that down. If your certainty requires someone else's silence, shame, suffering, that's not truth. That's not truth. That is tyranny wrapped up in a Bible verse. Certainty reduces anxiety, but at a psychological cost. There is something called the terror management theory, and I wrote it down. It was in 1986, okay? And look it up, it's very interesting. Humans cling to the systems of meaning, like religion, to buffer against the fear of death and meaninglessness. And I think we all kind of know that. They use religion to buffer against their own demise. And what is the meaning of life? Certainty provides structure, predictability, a sense of certainty in an unpredictable world. However, rigid belief systems often suppress emotional growth. Believers are taught that doubt is dangerous and it activates a fight flight response. Certainty becomes a spiritualized way of avoiding inner chaos. There is a great quote, and I have it written down right here, by Margaret Singer, Cults in Our Mind. Look it up. When an ideology is considered infallible, it allows its leaders to justify harm without accountability. I think that's pretty fucking powerful. Certainty might calm your anxiety in the short term, but it will erase your lived experience. It's not faith, it's a trauma response wrapped up in religious doctrine. Anyways, love you guys. Have the day you deserve.